class. Welcome to the online course of Professional Orientation and Ethical Practice. My name is Ms. Bowman, and I'm going to be your professor for this course. I'd like to start by just giving a little introduction to myself. I've been in the counseling field for 5 years, and it was during my time as a professional counselor that I realized I wanted to do more for the field of counseling. Specifically, I wanted to become a counselor educator and supervisor. And that was because of a professor I had who was a huge support to me during my program and even after when she became my clinical supervisor. That experience helped me realize I wanted to provide that kind of help and support to up-and-coming counselors as well. So, my teaching philosophy is based in a constructivist theory. The epistemology of constructivism teaches that there is no absolute knowledge, just our interpretation of it. I believe that's very true because what I believe might be based on my experiences and completely different than what you believe based on your experiences. Another part of constructivist theory is that knowledge is constructed, not acquired. We basically construct our knowledge by incorporating new information into pre-existing knowledge. In the classroom, I'm more of a guide and facilitator than I am a lecturer. I'll often use student examples when discussing topics because I believe it helps students comprehend and retain new information better. I take a more student-centered approach. I like to engage my students with content that's relevant to them. If it's relevant to you, you're going to be interested in learning it and more motivated to learn it. I always promote a collaborative environment, peer interaction, peer-professor interaction. Everything is good. Discussion is good. So you can expect that there'll be a lot of group projects and discussions in this course. Just want to end that thought with the process of learning is just as important as the product of learning in a constructivist classroom. Before we begin discussing the topic, I'd like to ask everyone to keep their microphones muted to avoid feedback or static or anything. If you have any questions or statements, type them into the chat box and I'll give you a response. So the topic we are going to be covering today is counselor role and functions. It's actually a 2-week topic. We're going to start it this week and carry it into next week. And at the end of next week, you guys will have a reflective paper due. So where should we start? What are counselor roles? Well, much like all of us, counselor roles are different things that we do while we're being counselors. A good way to explain that is to say, how many roles do you think you are participating in every day? So some people might feel like, oh, 1 or 2, but really there's probably a lot. We have the role of a student or a teacher, an employee or an employer, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister, a mother, a daughter, a father, a son. So as you can see, there's a lot of roles. So that this would be a good opportunity to take 2 minutes and have everybody write down how many roles they think they do on a daily basis. And then at the end of the 2 minutes, we'll take a few minutes to discuss with our classmates, what our roles are. So go ahead and do that, and we'll pick back up here in just a minute. Okay, great. So how did everybody feel about that? Does anybody have anything they want to say about it? Oh, Jennifer, I agree. I think we participate or we enact or act out lots of different roles every single day. And we don't think about that until we stop to think about it. Don't realize how much we're actually doing and how many roles we play. So that was great. Did you guys enjoy that little activity? Good, good. So now let's move on. What is counseling? Well, the agreed upon definition on the ACA website says that counseling is a professional relationship that empowers diverse individuals, families, and groups to accomplish mental health, wellness, education, and career goals. So already it's saying like, hey, we do a lot of stuff, a lot of roles, a lot of functions. So some examples of counselor roles are a helping professional. The wellness model is really important to the professional identity of helping professionals, and it's something that most counselors will agree on. The 4 common beliefs of the wellness model are: 1, it is the best perspective for helping is utilizing the wellness model. 2, most issues or problems are developmental in nature. 3, prevention and early intervention are far superior to remediation or stopping and reversing something. And 4, our goal is to empower our clients to resolve problems independently, identify and resolve problems autonomously without our help. I mentioned I used student examples. And so Becky, in your introduction to this class that I asked you to write, you shared that you realized you wanted to be a counselor because it makes you happy to help other people identify what their problems are and work through them. That's a great example of being a helping professional. You're already doing that role right now. Some other roles are we're problem solvers, assessors, and I say assessors because we have to assess our clients when they come in. We have to see if, how much their life is being impacted, or are we going to be helpful for them, or do they need a different kind of help? We do assess a lot of things. Another role is we're advocates, and we're going to get a little bit more into that when we talk about functions here in a minute. Okay, so some functions of professional counselors is we diagnose. We don't always diagnose, but we can diagnose. Another thing is we provide treatment, mental health treatment, substance abuse treatment, all kinds of modalities that you're going to learn about, help you decide. Part of your counselor identity is what you kind of already believe in, a way to approach problems and solve them. We educate. We educate our students, we educate our clients, we educate the population. We obviously do all kinds of education about mental health and what the field of counseling is. Another role is we supervise. So supervise in school, supervise at your site. There's going to be lots of supervision in your future for the next couple years. We consult, which is a great thing because we don't know everything. So when we get into a situation with a client and it's something that's unfamiliar to us, we can consult someone else in the field who maybe does have some more experience with that and could help us determine if we're a good fit for that client, or what ways are effective ways of treating the problem that they have and stuff like that. And finally, researchers. So not everyone who gets into the counseling field is going to be a researcher, but a lot of people actually do, and research helps us to continue to be a progressing field because they're always looking for and finding more effective treatment modalities. Another example, Ron, you shared in your introduction that you've always enjoyed researching, and one of your goals is to conduct research on the benefits of utilizing therapy animals with infants born with addiction problems. I think that's a great idea and probably has not been researched very much. In terms of advocating, we advocate for our clients, for the population as a whole, marginalized individuals and cultures, and also for the profession, for policy changes, law changes, things like that. Martina, in your introduction, you shared that you want to raise awareness about how low-income Hispanic families have higher rates of mental illness than their Caucasian counterparts. That's a great thing to bring awareness to, right? And that's something that our field needs to do. Okay, so that's just a little brief overview of what we're going to be doing over the next couple weeks. There's going to be a lot to learn. We're going to talk about more functions, more roles, ethics, all kinds of stuff. But when you go into this next couple weeks, I'd like you guys to start thinking about how your past experiences have can help you in creating your counselor identity. Also think about what functions or roles are you interested in doing. Do you see yourself in a specific role? And if so, is that because you've had experience in that role or something that you're interested in? Really just think about it, because creating your counselor identity is really important. And it's going to be kind of the first step to helping you decide, what population you want to work with and what modalities you believe are effective and things like that. Okay. There's a lot of learning styles in every class, and so I just want to let everyone know that there are different ways to take in this information. There's some videos online, there's discussions. Talk to your peers, talk to me. If you need help or it's not meeting your needs, please reach out and let me know, and we'll figure something out. We'll brainstorm together. And remember, adults learn differently. So you guys are here because you want to be here. The content is going to be relevant to you because you chose to be here, you're motivated, and most importantly, you already have a wealth of experience that you can apply to all of this knowledge. So I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and getting to know all of you over the next 10 or 11 weeks. Thank you. So I feel like the teaching method aspects that I covered for constructivism is that knowledge is constructed. It's so important from this teaching philosophy to incorporate all of our previous experience and our previous knowledge into our new knowledge, right? It creates our worldview, our frame of mind, all of those things. So I did talk about that with the students. I incorporated some of their personal history or experience, the reason that they're here, into understanding the roles and the functions. I talked about the different roles and helped them identify in their own experience roles that they were already playing, which is very good for constructivists because we're constructing our knowledge. So if they're already understanding that they play a multitude of roles in their daily life, it's going to be a lot easier to incorporate those different counseling roles into their life going forward. I talked about how learning is a social activity, which is part of constructivist theory, that it's very student-centered, that it's not my role to step in here and just like spew knowledge at you, but to really facilitate conversations and to encourage questions and curiosity, problem solving, which all of those things are part of constructivist theory and are effective in helping students learn. I also connected course content to stuff that was relevant to the students. When we provide relevant content, it's a lot easier for students to stay focused and engaged, motivated, encouraged to be there because they're relating it to what they want to do, whether it's their career goals, their life goals, or whatever. Doing content that's relevant to what they're doing here helps them to really learn effectively. Yeah. And then I incorporated, a little bit of a group work, which wasn't very much, but just in a 10-minute video, it was just a little idea of how it's important to work together, how sometimes someone can offer you some information that you didn't really have before. Even though you guys have the same new information, people view it differently, and so their experience plays a huge role, and I feel like I really incorporated a lot of experience from the student's point of view. I don't really have anything else. I know it's not quite the 15 minutes, but I'm gonna finish there. So thank you.